Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Today, we will be sharing the story of Helen, one of the most famous figures in Greek mythology. Her beauty and fate have captivated many people from ancient times to the present. Helen's story is not just a myth. It is a grand drama depicting love and betrayal, war and peace, and the complexities of human destiny. Through her life, we can step into the profound world of Greek mythology. First, let's talk about Helen's birth and origins. She was born as the daughter of King Tyndareus of Sparta and Queen Leda, but her real father is said to be the almighty god Zeus. Zeus transformed into a swan to approach Leda, resulting in Helen's birth. This mysterious and dramatic birth episode marks the beginning of her tumultuous life. Now, let's move on to the first chapter of Helen's story. We will take a closer look at her birth and origins. Stay tuned. Chapter 1: The Birth and Origins of Helen. Helen's story begins with her mysterious birth. She was born to King Tyndareus of Sparta and Queen Leda, but her real father is said to be the almighty god Zeus. This episode is one of the most famous in Greek mythology and symbolizes her destiny. One day, Zeus transformed into a swan and approached Leda. Leda was captivated by the beautiful swan, and Helen was born from their union. This event marks a moment where the worlds of gods and humans intersect, foreshadowing Helen's special fate. Helen's birth was a significant event for the kingdom of Sparta. Her beauty and divine lineage quickly became the talk of the people, raising expectations for her future. As a child, Helen was carefully raised in the Spartan court, and her beauty and wisdom grew day by day. However, there is another important aspect to her birth. Since her mother Leda was human and her father Zeus was a god, Helen possessed the qualities of both humans and gods. This duality would play a crucial role in her life. The episode of Helen's birth was particularly dramatic in Greek mythology. The scene where Zeus transforms into a swan to approach Leda has been depicted in many works of art and literature. For example, ancient vase paintings and Renaissance paintings beautifully portray this mystical moment. Additionally, Helen's birth is linked to prophecies and oracles about her future. When she was born, many gods and prophets foresaw that her beauty would cause great conflicts in the future. This prophecy would later lead to the great tragedy of the Trojan War. The birth and origins of Helen are just the prologue to her story. Her beauty and charm would soon attract kings and heroes from all over Greece, leading to many dramas and tragedies. In the next chapter, we will look at how the grown-up Helen captivated many suitors in detail. Chapter 2: Helen's Beauty and Suitors. As Helen grew, her beauty became more and more prominent, and her name spread throughout Greece. Her beauty was not just physical, she also possessed inner charm and wisdom. Her presence was like a miracle sent by the gods to the human world. Suitors captivated by Helen's beauty gathered at the Spartan court. They were kings and heroes from all over Greece, each competing for her hand. The suitors praised her beauty and used every means to win her heart. Among them were notable figures like Theseus of Athens and Paris, the Prince of Troy, who would later play significant roles. The Spartan court buzzed like a grand arena, with fierce competition among the suitors. They offered gifts, recited poems, and boasted of their valor to win Helen's heart. However, her beauty was so overwhelming that while everyone felt worthy of her, they also needed to respect her choice. Seeing the situation, King Tyndareus feared conflicts among the suitors and devised a plan. He made all the suitors swear to respect Helen's choice and abide by it. This oath would later become a crucial element leading to the Trojan War. The suitors accepted this oath and waited for Helen's decision. Her beauty and charm continued to captivate their hearts, and everyone eagerly anticipated the outcome of her choice. Helen's decision would not only determine her own fate but also the fate of all Greece. The story of Helen's beauty and her suitors is one of the most dramatic episodes in Greek mythology. The ripples caused by her beauty would eventually lead to great tragedy. In the next chapter, we will explore how Helen came to marry King Menelaus of Sparta. Chapter 3: Marriage to Menelaus. Among the many suitors captivated by Helen's beauty, the one ultimately chosen was King Menelaus of Sparta. Menelaus, the son of King Atreus and brother of Agamemnon, won Helen's heart with his bravery, wisdom, and kingly qualities. The marriage of Menelaus and Helen was a moment of great joy for the kingdom of Sparta. The wedding was celebrated grandly, with kings and heroes from all over Greece gathering to bless the couple and praise their beauty and happiness. The wedding scene was as radiant as if blessed by the gods. After their marriage, Helen and Menelaus lived a happy life in Sparta. Their love was deep, and they had mutual respect and trust. As the queen of Sparta, Helen was loved by the people for her beauty and wisdom. Her presence was a great pride for the kingdom, and her beauty became renowned throughout the land. However, this period of happiness did not last long. When Paris, the prince of Troy, visited Sparta, he abducted Helen with the help of Aphrodite. Paris had been promised the most beautiful woman in the world by Aphrodite, and he believed that woman to be Helen. The arrival of Paris and the abduction of Helen shocked the kingdom of Sparta. Menelaus, overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, took action to retrieve his wife. He, along with his brother Agamemnon, decided to gather kings and heroes from all over Greece to launch an attack on Troy. This event triggered the large-scale war later known as the Trojan War. The beauty of Helen and the conflict surrounding her led to a great tragedy that engulfed all of Greece. In the next chapter, we will delve into the details of Helen's abduction by Paris and the ensuing Trojan War. Chapter 4: The Arrival and Abduction by Paris. The happy married life of Helen and Menelaus was turned upside down by the arrival of Paris, the prince of Troy. Paris, with the help of Aphrodite, boldly abducted Helen. This event triggered a great war that engulfed all of Greece. Paris visited Sparta as part of a diplomatic mission. However, his true purpose was to fulfill a promise given by Aphrodite. Aphrodite had promised Paris the most beautiful woman in the world, and he believed that woman to be Helen. Paris was instantly captivated by Helen's beauty and decided to win her over. With Aphrodite's help, Paris abducted Helen. Aphrodite manipulated Helen's heart, making her follow Paris. Helen left Sparta and went to Troy with Paris. This event shocked the kingdom of Sparta. Menelaus, enraged by the abduction of his wife, took action to retrieve her. He, along with his brother Agamemnon, decided to gather kings and heroes from all over Greece to launch an attack on Troy. This decision triggered the large-scale war later known as the Trojan War. Kings and heroes from all over Greece responded to Menelaus's call and gathered. They united to retrieve Helen and headed to Troy. Famous heroes from Greek mythology, such as Achilles, Odysseus, and Ajax, participated in this war. They fought to break through the walls of Troy and retrieve Helen. The Trojan War became a fierce battle lasting 10 years. The Greek and Trojan armies clashed repeatedly, and many heroes lost their lives. The beauty of Helen and the conflict surrounding her led to a great tragedy that engulfed all of Greece. The relationship between Paris and Helen is one of the most notable episodes in the Trojan War. Their love was tested amidst the intensity and tragedy of the war. Paris continued to fight to protect Helen, but his actions brought tragedy to many. In the next chapter, we will look into the details of the Trojan War and its conclusion. Helen's story will take an even more dramatic turn from here. Chapter 5: The Trojan War. The abduction of Helen triggered a large-scale war that engulfed all of Greece, known as the Trojan War. Menelaus and his brother Agamemnon decided to gather kings and heroes from all over Greece to attack Troy. Their sole purpose was to retrieve Helen. The Greek army assembled at the port of Aulis and began their expedition to Troy. Famous heroes from Greek mythology, such as Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, and Diomedes, participated in this war. They fought to break through the walls of Troy and retrieve Helen. The Trojan War became a fierce battle lasting 10 years. The Greek and Trojan armies clashed repeatedly, and many heroes lost their lives. In the early stages of the war, the Greek army attacked the walls of Troy, but the strong defense of the Trojan army led to a stalemate. Throughout the war, many heroic actions and tragic events unfolded. Achilles, with his overwhelming combat power, defeated many Trojan soldiers, but he was deeply saddened by the death of his close friend Patroclus. Achilles avenged his friend by killing the Trojan hero Hector, but he ultimately lost his own life to Paris's arrow. Odysseus led the Greek army with his wisdom and strategy. His most famous tactic was the Trojan horse. Odysseus built a giant wooden horse and hid Greek soldiers inside it. The Trojans brought the horse into their city as a trophy, but at night, the Greek soldiers emerged from the horse and opened the gates of Troy. This allowed the Greek army to invade the city and ultimately led to the fall of Troy. After the fall of Troy, Helen was reunited with Menelaus. He had fought tirelessly to retrieve his wife and finally succeeded. Helen felt deep regret and sorrow for the events in Troy, but Menelaus forgave her, and they decided to return to Sparta together. The Trojan War had a significant impact on all of Greece. Many heroes lost their lives, and cities and nations were destroyed. However, this war is also remembered as one of the most grand and dramatic stories in Greek mythology. The beauty of Helen and the conflict surrounding her led to a great tragedy that engulfed all of Greece, but her story continues to inspire many people to this day. In the next chapter, we will look into the conclusion of the war and the return of Helen and Menelaus. Their story will take an even more emotional turn from here. Chapter 6: The End of the War and Return. The Trojan War finally came to an end after 10 years of fierce fighting. The Greek army, using Odysseus' strategy, broke through the walls of Troy and captured the city. After the fall of Troy, Helen was reunited with Menelaus, and their long journey home began. Menelaus, who had fought tirelessly to retrieve his wife, finally succeeded in bringing her back. Helen felt deep regret and sorrow for the events in Troy, but Menelaus forgave her, and they decided to return to Sparta together. Their return was a significant event for all of Greece. The journey home was not easy. The Greek army, weary from the war and burdened with many losses, made their way back home. They faced desolate lands and dangerous seas, overcoming many hardships. Menelaus and Helen also faced numerous trials as they made their way back to Sparta. Upon their return to Sparta, Helen and Menelaus began to live a peaceful life once again. Their reunion was a moment of great joy for the people of Sparta. Helen, once again as the Queen of Sparta, was loved by the people for her beauty and wisdom. Her presence was a great pride for the kingdom, and her beauty became renowned throughout the land. However, the scars of the war ran deep, casting a shadow over their lives. Many heroes had lost their lives, and cities and nations were destroyed. Helen and Menelaus could not forget the tragedy of the war. Nevertheless, they supported each other and built a new life together. Helen's story does not end here. Her beauty and fate have been eternally told in Greek mythology. Her story continues to influence many works of art and literature, such as Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, and Euripides' Helen. Moreover, Helen's name has even influenced astronomy. One of Saturn's moons is named after her, a testament to the lasting impact of her beauty and fate from ancient times to the present. The story of Helen and Menelaus is a grand drama depicting love and forgiveness, war and peace, and the complexities of human destiny. Their story is remembered as one of the most moving and dramatic episodes in Greek mythology. In the next chapter, we will explore Helen's cultural impact. We will delve into how her story has influenced art, literature, and even astronomy. Chapter 7: Helen's cultural impact. Helen's story is one of the most famous in Greek mythology, and its influence extends from ancient times to the present. Her beauty and fate have continued to impact many works of art, literature, and even astronomy. First, Helen's story holds a significant place in ancient Greek literature. In Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, her beauty and the Trojan War sparked are detailed. These works are among the most important in Greek mythology, depicting love, war, and the complexities of human destiny through Helen's story. Additionally, tragic works by Euripides, such as Helen and the Trojan Women, also feature her story. These plays explore the Trojan War and her fate from Helen's perspective, delving deeply into her inner conflicts and sorrows. Helen's story also greatly influenced ancient Greek art. For example, ancient vase paintings and sculptures depict her beauty in scenes from the Trojan War. These artworks visually express her story, conveying her beauty and dramatic episodes to future generations. During the Renaissance, Helen's story regained attention, and many painters and sculptors created works based on her. Famous pieces like Sandro Botticelli's The Birth of Venus and Leonardo da Vinci's Leda and the Swan symbolize her beauty and mystical birth. These masterpieces highlight her enduring influence on art, Moreover, Helen's name has even influenced astronomy. One of Saturn's moons is named after her. This moon, Helena, is a testament to the lasting impact of her beauty and fate, inspiring many from ancient times to the present. In modern times, Helen's story continues to influence numerous literary works, films, and stage productions. Her beauty and fate are universal themes that resonate with people across ages. For instance, the film Troy portrays her story on a grand scale, bringing attention to her beauty and the tragedy it caused once again. Helen's story is not just a myth. It is a grand drama depicting love and betrayal, war and peace, and the complexities of human destiny. Through her life, we can step into the profound world of Greek mythology. Her story continues to inspire many people, and its influence will undoubtedly persist. Helen's cultural impact demonstrates how her beauty and fate have continued to inspire many people. Her story is remembered as one of the most moving and dramatic episodes in Greek mythology. This concludes the story of Helen. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more exciting content in our next video.